Hey, we're back. It's me, Bill and Dave again. And this topic is going to be why I don't blank. And so we've got 4 things that we don't do.
Well, one of the things I never do is I never assume a player is incapable of becoming a great player. I've seen it so many times. You even said before the show, brag about it. Well, you may not believe this, but I've had players who were the worst kid on my team, worst kid, and I never cut. So I've had upwards of 55 kids on my team. And in California, I had a kid who was the worst kid on my ladder who could not drop the ball and make contact with the ball his freshman year. Sophomore year, #1 doubles player in Southern California. We're not talking little Nebraska or a small school somewhere. We're talking one of the highest competitive environments. He won 175 consecutive matches. And he would have been a player any coach would have cut had they have seen him for the first week or 2 of practice. So never assume that your players, especially boys, they mature later. And if you don't realize where these kids can go, if you give them the right tools, the right encouragement, the right inspiration, how far they can exceed. He even got a full ride to play college tennis. So I have to tell you, never assume a kid's incapable.
Awesome. I make every effort not to humiliate a kid in public. So if there's some kind of problem, then I'm going to pull them aside, going to have a quiet, respectful little talk with them. And as long as that goes well, then we can be on the right track and I will work with them. If I'm pulling them aside and they're giving me an attitude, then we're getting an early indication that things may not end up well. But I will work with them and I will do everything I can to make it private and protect them in that way and find ways to praise them publicly. And if I ever have to correct someone, I'm going to do it privately and take them through my kind of progressive discipline steps if I need to, which might even include later calling their house and talking to the parents.
And this ties in a little bit with what you're talking about. I now never, ever explode angrily at my team. I've been very successful, so you might say, well, you probably don't have to. Well, when you're starting off, you're building your program. And a lot of times coaches, personality or whatever, they show anger. Anger is never productive. You can still be strongly disciplined. You can be strongly adamant. But anger is an emotion. And when you start showing emotion, your players start emulating emotion on the court. And I found that the less they say, we always tell our kids, don't blow up. Don't say a negative word. Always assume you got the crystal ball mentality, which says you already know you're going to win. So if you know you're going to win, why get upset if you're behind? And that has proven probably one of the greatest mental small ticket items that created success. Believing that you will come back all the time and never showing anger, frustration. And so you as a coach definitely want to focus on not developing that mindset of anger by showing it yourself.
In the course, we'll get into maybe one little exception, right?
Oh, yeah.
But in general, that is very wise advice for sure. And my final one is I don't spend a lot of time doing aerobic exercise. So I don't have my kids running miles and miles because the tennis itself creates the aerobic base that they need. But really what they really need is the anaerobic base. They need to be able to change direction and have explosive movements and blah, blah, blah. And I used to chart the game winning percentage of my teams. Our winning percentage in the first set would be X. And in the second set, it would be 1.2 times X. And in the third set, it was again another 1.2. No, it was like 1.4 times X. So we were winning matches coming from behind. We were grinding people down. We had a winning percentage right around 70% in 3-set matches, which is really good.
Yeah,
and it's a very gratifying thing to know that your players are well prepared and they have the mental advantage of knowing they can last.
Yep.
Not knowing that you've put in the right training to do the right stuff and be ready for a long match, and the other kids might not be. It's the nice little ace to have up your sleeve.
Well, it builds confidence in the players because they know I'm prepared, whether it's physically, stroke, whatever.
Thank you for watching, and ready, go.
Yeah.